Hey, Steven, we got to figure out an intro to the podcast.
That works.
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Hello.
Came in with a lot of energy. Wow.
I was like, we got to bring up the intro. Hello, everybody, and thank you for listening to another episode of the No Fluff MSP Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Tahir Ahmed. Got my co-host here,
Stephen Madorf.
and we are super excited to announce ScaleCon 25.
It's back.
It is back, and it's going to be better than ever.
I hope so.
Yes, ScaleCon.
All right. Thanks for listening to this episode.
And that's the end. Hope to see you there. So we just wanted to take this episode to kind of go over. Don't worry, this is not like a sales pitch because we want to tell you it all, so you can go, oh wait, that's not actually for me, or absolutely, I want to go to that. So this isn't just like 10 reasons you need to be at ScaleCon or anything like that. It's just like, hey, this is what we're doing differently. This is what we learned from ScaleCon 24. This is what to expect, and you can make your decision from there. Yeah. Exactly. So super excited. We learned a ton from ScaleCon 24, like a ton. Now, fortunately, it was overwhelmingly positive.
It went smoother than I expected. I thought we'd be missing something massive, but luckily
didn't seem like 60% of the people that attended have already registered for this year. Over 50 of them at the event while they were.
Thank you so much to everybody who's done that. If you're on this podcast.
So a ton of the people that came are like, this was awesome. I'm ready to come back. And as we went into last year, we kind of told everyone, like, there's going to be kinks, guys. Like, this is Nigel kept calling it the experiment, which I like. It kind of gave us like a room to make failures, right? And fortunately, there weren't any. Obviously, there's a lot of kinks we can work out, which we're going to talk about. We wanted to talk about, like, what did we learn about ScaleCon 24 that we're going to be applying to ScaleCon 25, and then give you a full lay of the land of what's going to be going on at ScaleCon, why you should or maybe you shouldn't be there. Yep. All right, Steven, so what did you learn from last year? I'm going to pitch it to you.
Yeah, I've got a few things just picking up wise. I think the main one, I know you're probably going to touch on it as well, is just like slowing down the pace of the event a little bit. I know when we went into last year, it was definitely big, like, we're going to cram this with value. Like, everywhere you turn, there's going to be a new piece of information that you'll put in your workbook and everything, which I think is a good way to approach it. But then the feedback we got from a lot of people was like, this is great, but I don't have time to breathe. I don't have time to like digest this information. So honestly, when they were getting back from ScaleCon, they just felt so overwhelmed. It felt more like work than them learning something. So
totally,
this year we're pumping the brakes a little bit more and really letting the session just breathe a bit so that you can get the most value out of them to actually apply.
100%. I think my error was like, we had people flying from Dubai. We had people flying from all around the world. And I was like, there was a lot of pressure. I'm like, people are coming to see this event. They're just coming to see us. Like, we got to put on as much value as we possibly can. Yeah. So I crammed 3 full days of presentations, 2 15-minute breaks, and 1 60-minute lunch. It was just like back to back. And for me, I'm like, this is value. Mm-hmm. Like, to me, I'm like, if I'm traveling, I just want to give me 3 days of like everything you can give me, right? But as we learned, is like a lot of the feedback was like, hey, that was too much.
Yeah.
A lot of times, and I get this, and I knew this, and that's why the whole day was supposed to be like workshops and networking, and I just kind of instead just crammed it with more presentations. So it was really good for them to say, hey, just chill. Yep. Like, just give us value, but also give us time to like breathe and meet each other and talk and all of that. So we are totally switching things. We're doing an evening night, the 25th, right? It's like a 3-hour, just like, let's all chill, get to know each other. Speakers are all going to be there. Attendees are all going to be there. Members are going to be there. And then 2 full days, 8 to 5:30. The first hour, though, it's like coffee and, again, networking. We're going to do 2 30-minute breaks, big old breaks. And then we're going to do a 90-minute lunch. So there's just lots of time to breathe. And at first, that was freaking me out. I'm not going to lie, because I'm what's the word for it? Like, conductor of the agenda. It's hyper important to me that like we get the agenda right. So like that, 90% of it is me, right? And so obviously that's a lot of pressure, which is kind of why I was freaking out. But all it's made me do, and I think this is a good thing, it just makes me be hyper selective.
Yep.
Whereas when I look back at last year, there were a few fluff presentations, right? Like, I'm not going to name names, but there were a couple presentations where I was like, oh, that wasn't good.
Yeah, your presentation. I'm just kidding. I didn't want to say it.
We were looking at the form fills, the surveys, which were super helpful in changing what we're going to do for this year. And I honestly, I was like, was there anything about me? And Jen and Nigel were like, there was nothing good or bad about you. I'm like, okay, I guess that's good. So anyways, my point is, it's realizing, okay, we're going to cut out all the fluff, where we're going to bring back the best presenters from last year that bring the best gold, and then just hyper selective on who else we add to the stage.
Yes.
And so I think what that's done is it's just made the actual presentations the highest value. And so I'm just super excited about that. So like we're bringing Brian Gillette back. His presentation was fantastic.
Yep.
Stephen, so good. Stephen Young, who's been on this podcast, he's like kind of a rising star, and I just love what he's doing. We're bringing him back. That was his first time ever on a stage.
He killed it, yeah.
Killed it. And so like now he's even more comfortable. He's been doing more. It's been a year of him grinding away at his whole sales function at the MSP. He's going to come back with gold. Nigel's doing a presentation. Paul Green, who we all know is just excellent,
Just pure energy, yeah.
Yeah, pure energy. Harrison Barron, who's got his own audience and really knows his stuff. He's coming back. Don Sizer is coming back. We have a series of other presenters I'm working on right now that I'm just so excited about announcing.
Yeah, I'm excited for the returning, especially because, I mean, like, most of the event I was kind of floating around looking for things to fix, that sort of thing, kind of like Genesis, Maddie, everybody was doing. And there were some presentations like Stephen Young's, like Brian's, like that stapled to me in my seat. Like I was just listening to the whole presentation without even really realizing that. And like everybody coming back had that effect.
Yes.
So I'm excited for that.
Totally.
For everybody, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like we get the cream of the crop from last year. And then we get in some new blood, right? Like, and it's not just people that are professional presenters, just like we did last year. It's going to be a lot of practitioners.
Yes.
People in it right now doing the work. And on that, one thing we're adding in this year, which I'm, again, just so excited about, because it's like, how do we cut out as much fluff as possible, provide as much value as possible, while still giving people breaks and not making it 3 days?
Yeah, exactly.
And kind of one way we've decided to do this is have rapid fire tactics series. And so in this situation, we would take MSP owners, marketers, and salespeople and give them 15 minutes. 15 minutes to share one specific thing that they're doing that is moving their business forward. So we have one that's going to be talking about conferences. Like, this individual goes to conferences as an MSP, and how does he find success with that? I actually haven't locked him in for this yet, but he said to be down. So if you're listening to this, you actually know who you are. But anyway, please. So it's like these 15 minutes of like, this is what's working for me, how I'm doing it, the value I'm getting out of it, right? So these little 15-minute tactics are going to be so gold for just giving us really good ideas as to what we want to do.
Yep. And then I believe, are we cutting back on panels this year? Are we still including some panels?
We are doing. I currently have only one panel, and it's. All right, I'll just spoil it. So we're doing. Last year, Hannah Page did a wonderful job on like, what if you were going to be selling an MSP? What do you need to do? How do you get the right multiples? Blah blah blah. On this year, we're going to be doing a flip of that, where it's like, okay, you are now going to be purchasing an MSP, right? And so like from that perspective, what does that look? So we're actually a panelist. This is going to be so gold because we've got an MSP that has done 8 acquisitions, big MSP. We then have Hannah Page, who's going to be coming from the PE side of things. And then we have a smaller MSP that's like only done 1 or 2 acquisitions. So we get all these different viewpoints. In that perspective, I was like, okay, in that situation,
it has to be a panel.
It would have to be a panel, and I think they'd be valuable. When I look at the panels from last year, I was like, they were valuable, but they weren't an hour-long valuable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's hard to really get into the meat of it.
Yes.
Because I think they were a little bit more general panels. This one is hyper-specific, so like everybody knows what they're going to be hitting on.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, I feel like panels, they were okay last year, and we got decent response on them, but I'm like, okay, again, I have to be hyper selective. If we only have 2 days and we have to cut speaker positions by like 40%, hyper selective. And so that just makes sure that we get long breaks, but when we're in the room, we are getting the meat. We are getting something of value. We're in that room because it's a one-stage thing, just like last year.
Yes. And I like that we're sticking with that.
Yeah.
Rather than diverting too much attention.
I agree. I mean, I think breakouts are great, but then again, the selection process gets even more watered down.
Yeah.
It's like, we have all these new spots we can do. It's like, no, let's just, because no matter what role you have in the MSP, whether you're owner, marketing, sales, account management, you need to learn from like, what are the other roles doing. Like, it's good to hear some owner content.
Rather than just kind of hearing stuff that kind of.
And if you're the owner, it's good to hear some highly tactical marketing content. Like, it's good for all of us to be in the room, and there's going to be enough for everybody and enough networking time for everybody that the value is there from my perspective.
I do think it's going to be good this year too, because like it's very value focused in that 2-day format where everybody kind of has the same experience when it comes to seeing a speaker, because it kind of eliminates the FOMO of like, oh, I wanted to see 2 breakouts. Like if there's a conflict between 2 breakouts, you're kind of out of luck. You have to wait for the recording, and then it's kind of already left your mind at that point.
And that happens all the time.
Yeah, but this way, I mean, like you can really check your notes on that breathing time that we're finally giving to you. So with the presentations, that like everybody has the same opportunity to engage with them. And if one really isn't your style, we'll still have like all the sponsors, the sponsor room, everything else open as well.
And to that point, all of the recordings from last year are on Growably.
Campfires.
Oh yeah, good point. All of the recordings from ScaleCon 24 are on Growably. So the minute you register for ScaleCon 25, you get added to that. And what I encourage you to do, because this is not going to be a rehash. That's not what I want these ScaleCon events to be. I want it to be, okay, the foundation was built the first year. So go through and just make sure you watch at least some of them, the most important ones that you're trying to learn more about. Because this year is going to build on a lot of that. I'm not saying you have to listen to them to get value at a ScaleCon 25. Of course not. They're going to be, standalone, highly valuable presentations. But you will get more if you have that foundation built. I can't say which ones to skip, unfortunately, but there are a couple you can skip. Typically, you'll know just by title. All right. So moving on, a couple of things I'm excited about, not to get too... I do want to talk about like the ROI of these things. And this is, I think, the discussion, if you're still here, that you really need to think about as to, if you're going to make a commitment to this, like, oh man, it's a lot of money. The tickets,
traveling
$300 to $400, traveling, the hotel's nicer, so it's more expensive. You're like, oh my gosh, this is going to be $1,200, $1,400. And not just $1,400, but there's the opportunity cost of, okay, I'm missing 2 days of work. So it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So you're missing, or really Wednesday, typically 3 days worth of work. So there's a huge, not huge, but there's a cost involved and there's an opportunity cost involved on going to any event. And so as we know about the channel, there's lots of events. So when we think about ROI, we have to think about like, what ROI can I get from an event like ScaleCon?
Yeah.
And I think, and I just want to address this head on, I think the best way to illustrate this is I just spent $7,000 to go to Vegas for a 2-day event at Alex Hormozi's scaling workshop. And that's a big commitment. Like, we're a small business. $7,000 is a lot of money. And I was gone for like 3 full days, right? And I'm still trying to build and run my company. So it's like, it was a huge commit. And it was $7,000, right? But I got so much gold. out of that event. But I'm like, well, how do I trace it back to an ROI? Well, here's some specific ways you can trace it back to an ROI. I immediately came back and improved our onboarding. Immediately, from what I learned at the scaling workshop. Like week one, I remember we mapped it out on the whiteboard.
Yeah, we
worked on that.
quick.
We integrated it like immediately. That one change has reduced churn of new trials of MSP camp members coming in by 70%. 7-0. And we usually get between 30 and 50 new members a month. And so decreasing the churn that much, if we think of that one tactic that I got from the scaling workshop and the way they explained it and how we implemented it, that one thing is going to pay for that $7,000 over the next few years 100 times over. Like, I'm not even exaggerating when I say 100 times over.
Yeah.
700,000. Yeah.
For a model like ours, I mean, retention is kind of what we need the most.
Yeah.
Even more so than like new people coming in.
Yep.
Obviously we want both, but.
So when I speak to attendees from last year and their experience with ScaleCon, like, oh, I love the whole event. And then they'll say like one presentation. They almost always will bring it back to like 1 or 2 presentations. They're like, this one helped me fill in the blank, which fill in the blank. And it's like, okay, so cool. So for $1,400 in 3 days, you got this outcome.
Yeah, you filled a hole in your marketing.
And it was from one of the presentations that you were missing out on because maybe you already knew a lot of the other stuff or like whatever it might be. You got that outcome from that. There's your ROI. And if you can think of these events as an investment, and the return you're looking to get out of it, then it's well worth it.
Yes.
I think a lot of times the hesitancy with events, which I understand completely, because it kind of drove me crazy, is you're wondering like, how much value is this going to be versus vendor is this going to be?
Which is a fair question,
totally.
especially in like with most conferences. Yeah.
With almost all of them. So there's the value to vendor equation that you have to factor into your mind when it comes to the ROI.
Yeah.
Because you're like, okay, is it going to be 30% value, 70% vendor? Which sometimes vendors provide value. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying vendors can't provide value, but there is a clear objective because they spent $50,000 to be on that stage.
Yeah, and as an attendee, it makes you feel kind of bait and switched from the build up to the event.
Yes. And so that gets to the other purity aspect of ScaleCon 25. I hate to say purity, but it's true. I mean,
Not bad.
What's that?
That does sound bad.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like a more pure way of doing it. Like, we do not sell speaking spots.
Yeah.
We do not sell speaking spots. There
It's
is
a
not
huge
a
conflict of interest.
100%. And one of the only things that the speaker has to sign off is I will not pitch on stage. That's like the only thing.
Yeah.
It's like, no, if you are going to be on stage, you are going to share something of value that the attendees can take home and do and make money from it.
Yep.
To me and Nigel, that was such an important piece. We do not sell a contact list. We do not sell speaking engagements or speaking presentations, speaking spots, right? It is none of that shit. And I think that's just such an important aspect. If you're trying to, if you're going to commit all this time, all this effort, all this money, and you want to get an ROI, and you get up there and half the presentations are why this stupid product's going to make you more money, yeah, that will burn me really quickly.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about that. You literally do not have to worry about that here. We put on the conference last year. It was over $400,000. It's going to be even more expensive this year. I didn't pitch one time, not one single time, right? And we're the one putting on the event.
Yeah.
Like, that's how important it is to us. So I hate to go so hard on this one point, but that's how you can know, like, if you're trying to get value and you're trying to grow your MSP, like, this is the one. This is the one. Like, this is the one to go to. Now, I guess there's no antithesis to that. There's not like, if you're going to learn from vendors, because there's a vendor room. There's a big vendor room, right? That you can still go learn from the vendors and meet the vendors. And we care a lot about them and they help us make the event. So how can we do an event like that? How can we do an event where we don't sell the list, where we don't sell speaking spots and everything else? How can we even do that?
We're harvesting their data. No, I'm just kidding. That's the secret, right? Oh, no shit. I shouldn't have said that.
This is the cold, hard, real truth. You know, with both me and Nigel, there ain't no bullshitting. Same with Steven. There's not any, like, it is exact. We are just going to tell you how it is. It's because this is a lost leader, right? We lose money every year on this event, and we plan to lose money every year on this event. It's the only way. It's the only way to both have a big conference with a lot of people and not sell speaking engagements. It's the only way. With those three things, it is virtually impossible to make money unless we crank up ticket prices, which Nigel's not quite comfortable with yet. But it might be what needs to happen in future years where it's like, okay, we need to at least break even. We gotta kind of
keep it moving each year.
The price up. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna do a little bit of bitching here. I'm gonna do a slight amount of bitching here. So again, we're losing money. We're trying to provide as much value as we possibly can. And a lot of the like feedback last year, again, 95% incredibly positive. We always take back the feedback. But some of the feedback, I'm like, yeah, so sorry, no. They're like, we noticed for breakfast there was just pastries and coffee. We really want a full breakfast. We want a full breakfast. It's like, all right, let's do some quick math real quick. The breakfast is $60 per person. It's $60 per person.
In its current state, right? Or you mean for full?
No, for full.
In the current,
full.
okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
I think the current was like 20 or something.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so 60, right? $60 times 3 days, right? Or I guess in this case, 2 days. So that's $120 per person just for breakfast.
Even if they don't eat the breakfast, right?
No, it doesn't matter.
The person, yeah.
All right. So that's $120 per person, right? And then for lunch, it's $100, right? Per day. That's per day. So now we're at $320 just for food.
Yeah.
Just for food, right? And then like, okay, we also do these evening things, which are $50 a person, right? So each person that registers for ScaleCon, we lose money. right? And that's why sponsorships are so important. But we can't charge as much for sponsorships because we don't sell spots.
And we like food as much as everybody.
Yeah.
It's like
and so like there's some
pick.
stuff it's like we can't both have a cheap ticket and no speakers pitching to us and the full continental breakfast.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We can't have all of the things, so we have to make concessions. And if the concessions are we're willing to pay more for a better breakfast, then that's fine. We can totally do like full breakfast ScaleCon 26. So that's just that's just a rant I had to have because it's like, guys, we can't have all of the things, or we're going to be losing hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like I'm okay with losing $100K split. I'm not okay with losing like $200K so I can like provide breakfast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, and by the way, there will be breakfast. It's just like pastries. So
no food this year.
Yeah.
Pack a lunch.
No, it's going to be great lunch.
Yes.
It's going to be amazing lunch just like last year. But
their stuff was great last year.
Breakfast, we're going to be in New Orleans. Go get a beautiful New Orleans breakfast and then walk up, get your coffee, and let's all chat. You know what I'm saying? Make sense?
Makes sense to me.
All right, cool. Because there's like 5 people that said that. I'm like, guys, I don't know. I'm sorry. I can't make you happy. All right, cool. All right, went a little too hard on that. I bet I just lost some people, but let's keep it going. All right, another thing we're excited about. So one, the people returning last year. The better hotel, because that's another feedback we got, which I totally understand. We went with a really cheap hotel last year. The venue was nice.
Yes.
Link was nice, but the rooms were not nice.
Yeah, they were what I guess you can expect from a budget Vegas hotel.
It was like $40 a night.
Yep.
Well, this year, we're going to the Roosevelt in New Orleans, which is a Waldorf. Waldorf?
Waldorf is in the name, yes.
Waldorf?
I don't really know too much about it.
Waldorf is like, I think historically, like really nice. And it
looks fantastic.
Awesome. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit pricier in the hotel rooms. We do got a room block, which there still are some. So if like you're about to sign up for the early bird, which is still good for another couple weeks, make sure you go to scalecon.com and there's the room block button at the bottom. So book through that. You get a pretty good discount.
Yes.
And there are still more, so don't worry, don't panic. There's still more, but definitely try and get it going in the next week or two if you're going to lock in that discount. Really nice hotel, really nice venue that the hotel's going that the presentation's going to be in. So those are just some big things, right? Those are some things we want to cover about ScaleCon. It's going to be awesome. I mean, we're pouring our heart and soul into this once again.
Yeah.
I would say kind of the last thing I wanted to cover, unless you had anything else, Stephen. We've talked about it on the podcast a couple of times, and it's actually going down now.
It's real.
It's real. Yeah. You may not care about this I might cover this and be like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
And we might care about this too much.
Yeah. Like you might say that, and I might be like, I hear you. I get it.
No judgment. Yeah.
But me and Steven have spent quite a few evenings and weekends working on this. And at its current state, it is awesome. We are officially launching our MSP Camp trading card game at ScaleCon. Applaud.
I'm sure you're all clapping at home along.
Yeah. Sure you're excited about this. So, like, why are we doing a trading card game? And if you zoom out, like strategically, like how important it is to do a trading card game is like as people play it, subconsciously, they want to spend more money with MSP Camp. And obviously that's complete bullshit.
Yeah.
The reason we're doing it is it's fun. Like it doesn't even say MSP Camp anywhere on it. I think like our logo,
the badge is on the back.
It's like, it's just a fun thing. Like me and Steven are creatives. We work very hard at MSP Camp. So like we have to have outlets to be like, let's just do something cool.
Our illustrators have made incredible art that like, we're like, let's maximize this in a trading card game, right? And then it's been a blast.
Dude.
A lot of work.
A lot of work. We've literally spent like almost a year on it, right? I think we started like a year ago.
Yeah, 6 months, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be awesome. It officially is going, we just went to the manufacturer this week. So, you know, we have over 3 months for ScaleCon. So 100%, well, I would say 95% it'll be ready.
Always leave a little bit in,
And the event is video game themed, right? We went with the video game theme this year just because, again, we're total nerds. And so having a custom trading card game there, I think it's going to be pretty sweet.
Yep.
And it's like, it is a real trading card game. There are going to be 2 different starter decks. One with me, I'm the Beast deck. and then one with Steven. You're the metal
yes.
deck, right? So you choose like, am I starting with the Steven deck or the Taher deck?
And I think it's like beast and like dark types, light types, and metal, something like that paired.
Yeah. So it's like primarily beast. Same with metal. There's like primarily metal, but there's some cyber in there, some dark, and and then separate booster packs, right? So like the starter decks, each of the starter decks have like the they have different cards, but every starter deck of Taher's looks the same. Every starter deck of Stevens looks the same. But then the booster packs are like real booster packs. They are real booster packs. They are randomized. We have common cards, rare cards, ultra rare cards, and then hyper rare cards. And so based on their rarity is like how difficult it is to pull, just like literally like a real trading card game. And honestly, there are a couple hyper rare cards that I really want. And like, we're not printing cards. We're only printing the starter deck.
I didn't even think about that. We're going to have to pull our own cards. I really want some cards. So like, I'm going to like, there's the network breach where it's like, if a monster attacks, you destroy that monster. I think you destroy all of the opponent's monsters on their field and you reverse the attack back to the camp health of the other guy or girl. Like that's a powerful card. And like, I want that card, but the only way I can get it is if I pull it. So I'm literally probably going to be at ScaleCon being like, does anybody have this card? I will pay you $100. Yeah, we can trade them around.
I will 100% pay $100 for that card. So anyway.
I'm sure we could just request from the manufacturer to get the cards, but where's the fun in that?
Where's the fun in it? Exactly. We could just print more of them, but then it's like not actually, hyper rare. So
got to pull the Remedy monster.
Dude. Bro.
We also have a few of them are going to be holographic as well.
Yeah, well, all the rare, ultra rare, and hyper rare, they are all, they're all hollow. So like real holographic cards. So anyway, I'm just excited.
Yep. This is becoming the trading card podcast, but it's just,
bro, I'm excited. It's just cool. It's like of all the projects we worked on, this one's like, okay, this one's pretty dope. Like even if nobody likes it, even if everyone's like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. It's like the amount of satisfaction we've had working on it and like flexing our creativity on it, like loved it. Anyway, so that'll be at ScaleCon. I know that's the real reason you're going to be there. Everybody that comes, we will be giving you a starter deck and multiple booster packs to just go ahead and start your journey.
And you can make $100 if you pull Network Breach.
You might end up throwing away. You might think it's the dumbest thing ever, but it's like a full game. It's also simple. It's not crazy, right? So like anybody that picks it up can look at the rule book and then within 10 minutes know how to play the game. I think that's very important to us. Like it's got to be like simple. Okay. Anyway, sorry, my bad. Anything else before we wrap up, Steven?
I mean, I think we're just psyched to get back to having engaged members in one place, even like not even members, just engaged MSPs in one spot to meet. And that was one of my favorite parts of it, just meeting members face to face, meeting people face to face who are like, they're interested in the offerings and marketing and stuff because they paid to come to the event.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a big difference besides it being just like it's technology themed. Like, no, these are people like coming for marketing, sales, that sort of piece. So.
Yep. Totally agree, man. It's always so good to actually see everybody in person because we live in the digital realm, right? So actually having everybody in one place is awesome.
Yeah, as ChatGPT would say, we live in a technological landscape.
In today's world. Yeah, totally. All right, last thing real quick. This is very important, so just stick with me. One, if you're going to come, please register. We can provide a refund up to 30 days to the event. So if you're like, I'm going to lock my early bird price in, you find out later down the road you can't make it, just lock it in. Just go ahead and lock it in. Yeah. If you're doing VIP, and if you want to do VIP, let me just make sure I'm super crystal clear on expectations of VIP. Again, this is one of those things where 96% of the people were so happy, so grateful, and registered again as VIP. But there were some people who gave good feedback that, hey, VIP just didn't have enough there.
Didn't have the oomph.
Yeah. So we went to Hell's Kitchen. I bought a $25,000 dinner for everybody. It was incredible, amazing. One of my favorite nights, right? We went to the Top Golf again with everybody. Incredible night, so much fun. And then you kind of get the VIP badge. And some people weren't happy with that. Hey, for $1,000 or $1,500, like I was expecting more. So I just want to make sure I set proper expectations. The VIP this year is $1,000. If you're doing it because you want more of an experience than the regular ticket, just go with the regular ticket. Just don't do VIP. The point of the VIP is proximity. And that's what I'm going to make sure I communicate. Now, we are going to do some dope stuff. We got a New Orleans river boat that we're going to do on the evenings. We're going to feed top-notch dinner. We're going to have a live band. Like, there's going to be a VIP stuff that we do. But that's not the point of the VIP. The point of the VIP is actually just to get all the VIP people in a room, get all the presenters, the top presenters in a room, get Nigel in a room, right? Nigel's kind of like a celebrity in the MSP space. Great. Like, let's get all of us in one place. And what we're paying for, what that extra money is the proximity. We get a whole evening where we all get to meet each other. We get to meet the other VIP people. Like, they're willing to spend more. Like, they're more invested in marketing. They're probably doing more with marketing in their business. So we get to learn from them, right? If you love Nigel and you really want to kind of spend more time with Nigel, because like it's probably going to be crazy at the event. Maybe there's not as much time to actually get proximity with Nigel. Great. That's a great way to do it. So I just wanted to properly set expectations on VIP so that way no one's butthurt. It's like you're paying for that proximity. If you don't want to, cool. Just go with register. You're going to be blown away with value for the price. I promise you. But if you do want to be a VIP, just want to make sure I set the expectations primarily around proximity. All right, cool.
Perfect. Yeah.
Makes sense?
Ready to wrap.
All right. Yeah, we do need to wrap up. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Hope to see you at ScaleCon. It's going to be awesome. We're bringing the whole team. It's going to be great. And it's not just for owners. If you're the owner listening to this, bring your marketing person, bring your salesperson, bring your account management person. There's going to be value for all of them. This is not just an owner conference. It is not. We need to make sure we bring all the growth center people out of organization there. Awesome, y'all. Appreciate it. Hope to see you there.
Yes.
We'll see you on the next one.
Thanks.